How y'all doing today? This is Roscoe from, You Made Roscoe. Today I'm not doing a reaction. This is more of just like random thoughts, me just sitting back, thinking to myself about a lot of stuff. Actually, I'm just sitting here blessed. It's actually a little bit because I had been waiting for a package that held like I just sent off for like a hat, a hoodie, and it was like a long sleeve tee, um, all of which said you made Roscoe on it, but yeah, apparently that package, it even though it said it was delivered to me, I didn't receive it. So I pretty much got jacked by somebody in my building, which is uh, it's sad, but it is what it is, But um, I did, once I thought about it, I wasn't really sad about it or tripping about it too much after the fact because I realized that even though I hate that I don't have my stuff, I receive a lot of blessings then, and despite any of the like crap that the world throw at me or anybody else, but I just continue through, I deal with that emotion, that initial emotion of being upset, and then quickly afterward, like, all right, let's press forward, So um, money comes, it goes, at the end of the day, and I'm not a person that really gets stuck on material stuff anyway, so or nowhere close really. So that's a good thing. So and is I can get those things again. It's not a big, but you just hate to not have your shit. But I know as I'm sitting here and I'm chilling, uh, I was looking at my YouTube feed, and interesting thing had popped up, and I usually usually I wouldn't even like put like personal business and stuff out there, my personal happenings, a lot of time, even though like some stuff I will put out there. Well, when it has to do with just me, I'll put that stuff out there, because on some level I know I'm open, or I try to be an open book, but just being a human, you want to be able to at least keep some things to yourself, have some things that's just for you and stuff like that, whatever. But yeah, like I never really had a problem with sharing what was going on with me, you know, generally. But like I said, that I'm looking at my YouTube feed, and recently, what was it? Well, now it would be yesterday that I started doing the Ideas series from Ryan Up Church, which he's a dope artist. I like a fair amount, more than a fair amount of his songs. Not gonna sit here and say like I like every single one or something like that. I don't think that would be the case for nobody, um, but generally speaking, I like his joints, And recently, like I said, I started doing his whole idea series, and uh, that started yesterday. But I happen to look at my feed and I see that a former collaborator of mine, so um, he recently started doing I guess he's watching our page or whatever, and he starts to do the idea series right at the same time as I'm doing. Now, I do realize that, and now that we're in the reaction game, like everything's fair game or whatever, and I'm not tripping about that. Like it's a trillion reactors out here reacting to everything. A lot of the time it is reactors reacted to the same artist or something like that, fairly around the same time. So again, not something that anybody should be tripping on, but given the history that me and this guy had, it's just really weird to see somebody basically uh, drawing off your energy as much as they can, and not exploring, trying to do things their own way, that type of stuff. And first of all, like when we started this whole journey with the reactions and all that, well, actually the journey starts before the reactions. We have to go way back before that. We have to go back to the warheads, that we started doing the warheads, me and another former collaborator, which is another story to get into. Maybe this time, maybe another time. We'll see how much time is permitted. but but yeah, no, it's really crazy. We started the journey with the warheads. Apocalypto Joe, he decided that he wanted to do a podcast. He talked to me about it. It's something that we talked about after the idea was introduced to me, and so we started doing that somewhere around a year and some change ago, whatever it was. And yeah, it was doing what it was doing. Uh, we both put a lot of energy into that whole thing, but it was just a lot of weirdness. But in the midst of that, I happened to bring Zoe to the fold. I asked him if he wanted to be involved. It was something that I think during one of my trips down there to Minnesota, yeah, I just we were sitting around each other, and I happened to just ask him about it, and he was game for the idea or whatever, So me and Zoe being cool at the time, I'm just like anytime, I just try to be cool to the people that I'm around. I don't try to stress nobody. I don't bring no extra energy to nobody, no bullshit, no nothing. I just try to bring them into situations where it's cool, you know what I mean? And so I bring him into the fold, and despite the fact that most of the people who were involved with the Warhead Project at the time didn't look at Zoe as somebody who was contributing anything to it. you know, um, I actually was the one that fought for Zoe, and said that he does serve a purpose and he will serve a bigger purpose and yada yada yada. So I did fight for this guy, and I fought against people who I had known longer, had stronger ties to. You know what I mean? So at that time, but you know, so we're doing that, and eventually there's a riff that happens with me and Apocalypto that eventually leads me into the You Made Roscoe world, you know what I mean? Which started, well, I had the page sitting up forever, just kind of doing nothing, but because I was doing the warhead stuff, but really started getting active, I guess, around in December of last year. And then, um, it's only been what the next month I started doing reactions, So, yeah, and me and Zoe was right there with me from the beginning because, you know, uh, he at the time, of course, and it was just one of those things like, hey, you right here, let's do this. So we ended up doing it, and uh, I'm guessing that the reactions to well, I know that the reactions to the Tom videos were like his idea, but yeah, so we started off with the Toms. That's how we, I think, even got the ribbon with these reactions or whatever. But people started drawing, and it was what it was, So that was the thing that was happening. But uh, somewhere quickly into that, because of just that rapid growth that was happening with the page. Um, I'm assuming that Zoe saw it as his opportunity to gain from that or whatever, and once he did some things that revealed that to me, I initially didn't even have an issue with that, because something that I had preached to everybody, even while we were doing the warhead stuff from the very beginning, is that everybody start up a page and get active and do their thing, you know what I mean? Only to allow for more outlets. And we were dealing with so many people, and there was only so many people we could fit into certain shows and all that. So it just gave it another, like I said, opportunity for people to be involved in those lanes when they weren't over here with us in Warhead land. But yeah, it got crazy, man. Like he all of a sudden, when I had been telling him and everybody else to get a page started, and there was never the motivation or none of that to do that. Even when he was working with me with You Made Roscoe and all that, and at the very beginning, I told him to start a page. Had no motivation to do it at that point. But once the attraction started happening on my page, is when all of a sudden now was the perfect time for him to have a page. So, and again, like I said, aided him in that effort, you know, even as I saw that, what was happening, so right off the bat, he, uh, he created an atmosphere as if we were like in competition without even saying it was that. You know what I mean? If it was that, you could have said it was that, and then it's cool, But he was purging for me right from the giddy up, you know, like just in this mode, like trying to beat me to the punch to what he felt were songs that would draw more attention and all this stuff. So immediately there was this competition happening, this kind of this competitive atmosphere, and um, it just I didn't understand why uh, somebody you know, who was cool with me, and somebody who I, of course, brought into the fold when we were doing the other thing. But even while we were doing this thing, I've been as supportive of him as I've been of like everybody that we've been involved with. You know what I mean? I didn't, you know, the only negative anybody would be able to say about me and dealing with me with this in this particular realm is that they could probably say they felt like I was pushing them or something like that, only because I'm time conscious and they're so wasteful of time. And so I just tried to remind them that time is of the essence and things can be getting done while we're wasting time, you know. But other than that, I always was an encouraging voice to everybody that was involved with us. Always was a supportive voice, willing to lend myself to the fullest degree, always, you know. So, and that same thing was for Zoe, you know. I extended myself. I told him as he was starting his stuff, all right. I remember even one of the things in the beginning of him starting this thing that I put out there to him. You know, I said, all right, because we were doing shows back to back. So we record one for him, record one for me. Uh, but to get him, but the initial plan was to, like, once he got started, I told him, like, dude, we'll do it like this. Just because I'm so far ahead as far as shows produced, like we could do 4 or 5 for 1. I think I said 5 for 1. So I would allow him to record 5 shows for him, and then we do one for me, and then 5 for him, 1 for me. You know, so when I prepared, but the like the first day that we did it, there was so much waste of time. Well, I think we may have did it like 2 days, but yeah, so much waste of time. You know, in that, you know, I knew that it was hurting me. And then just because I'm time conscious and I hate wasting like that, you know, but I couldn't hold to that at that point because I saw that I was going to be way behind only because there was so much waste of time on his end, you know. So yeah, that there was that, you know. But eventually, you know, and some of this breaks down to just like some other weird stuff that's happening too, like with a lot of people that's coming in as subscribers is I realize that a lot of people are they tie their politics and everything else to well, they tie their politics to everything about them, you know. So a lot of people are coming into YouTube and they're they're trying to break down your politics and all this other stuff. Um, and as opposed to just coming in and like now what I generally do is reaction shows, music reactions. I end up doing like other more reactions as we go, but generally at this point it's been music stuff. So if you're not coming in to enjoy the music, you know what I mean, and you have people coming in with ulterior motives and stuff like that, like people I've never met, uh, they've been coming in, you know what I mean, and I ain't even on front. It's been some white people, you know what I mean. So white people that the same that crazy enough when Zoe was a part of our page. Some of these people had kind words to say and all this stuff, but just because that face was removed and not because I changed as a person or nothing like that, but just because that face was removed from my page, now this vitriol was coming. You know what I mean? People were saying weird stuff and had ulterior motives, even now, still to this day. You know what I mean? I think there's one person with the hashtag, well, with the YouTube tag, Black Lives Matters or something like that. They give us come in a few times on my page saying some weirdo shit, you know. Who else? Bridget is another one that was, you know what I mean? Just, and you know, and I didn't want to put people out there like that, but these people they need to be put on blast because this is shitty type of mentalities that they have. You know, the like just either come in and judge this for the music or whatever and not think that and, and another I know I'm straying away from the whole soul thing, you know, by diving into this, but there's so many elements. I'm just spewing thoughts, you know, but yeah, no, it's just been weird with that. But yeah, that the whole thing was so it just really came to a head. And some of that was because of the fact that, but now we're both of us doing shows and stuff like that, and because we're basically doing the same show. Thank you, so. But yeah, that and it only made sense. You know what I mean? If they see me and him doing shows together, you know what I mean? Even if we got two different pages, they're going over there, they're subscribing over there and not subscribing over here. And it was what it was, you know. But it just me saying that is just like, no, I just want, and then, you know, this fucker is a panderer. That's something that I don't do. I don't want to do that. Like I like going through this journey with y'all. I love the fact I love to connect with people, like on a general, on a real basic level for me. Like seriously, at the just to be at the core of me is all about like unity and unifying and bringing together and all that type of stuff. You know what I mean? So I'm all for that, and I embrace difference. You know what I mean? Like I want and I want to have people around me who are different, not doing the same stuff as I do, and to be able to have the opportunity to um, pick their brain and on that difference and stuff like that, and have real conversations with these people about that difference, as opposed to just because we're different, you know, I see this one thing different, I gotta blow this whole shit up, you know. So it's just crazy like that, but it is what it is. But the shit was with the pandering, and once that level of it came to it, you know, because it was I was already kind of just festering a little bit about some of these other things, and the fact that when he's doing his show, when he started out, you know, like I just felt like it was a complete rip of what I was doing. You know, and why would somebody who called themselves my friend, you know, be do exactly what I was doing and how I would do it, or their impression of how I would do it, you know. But it was just weird to me, you know. But I just want to separate myself from it and allow you can fly on your own. Whatever's gonna draw to you is gonna draw to you. Whatever's gonna draw to me is gonna draw to me, and that's fine, you know. And I knew that it was going because I know how people think, you know. I knew, but like I said, the thing with the pandering actually was like, you know, like that's something that I don't like. I don't do. You know what I mean? Like I want to be genuine and to everybody around me, and you make the decision on your own on whether you want to be around me or not be around me or whatever the case is. But I'm not gonna put on a clown show for nobody. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna acquiesce um, specifically for people. You know what I mean? Like I'm, you know, I try to be nice. You know what I mean? Like on my show, of course, the requests and all that, a whole nother thing. You know, so I'll do that. You know, but it's another thing when well, one of these people, they came in and the way that they're just thinking about like the request for the songs and stuff like that. And I'm gonna get away from that real quick. But it was just one person that asked so rudely. It was so rude how they asked for a song, and I won't blast that person, but it was just like, damn, And I gave him the request, but it was, and because I'm not, I don't, I know I could get beyond that shit, but people still don't realize that they're doing these things, or maybe they do realize that they're doing these things and just don't give a fuck. So it is what it is for me. I really brought this whole thing up to come to a head because I only brought up this conversation because when I looked into my YouTube feed today, just like what what would have been like an hour and a half ago at this point right now, and knowing that I had already did the idea series, and then to see him doing the idea series just really kind of just put a spotlight to me on like his integrity. Some other things, it says some things about me, to me. I mean, not about me, but to me about him. But I'm like, man, like this fucker can't find his own way for nothing. Like, just go do you and stop watching what I'm doing and trying to, you know what I mean? Like, it's one thing they say imitation is flattery and all that good stuff. I'm like, that's fine. When people and they see like me, when I came up, and this is the same for everybody out there, like, or most everybody, is that you grow up and the people that are around you, you'll see some people who you want to take some things from and say, I'm gonna incorporate that into what I do and do it my way though, the way that I would do it. So that that's one thing, but you know to straight up jack, you know what I mean, or plagiarize, is a whole nother thing. So um I just thought that that was interesting when I saw that, you know um and I'm just like, wow, you know like this dude. And um that's it. This the last, hopefully, that I have to talk about that stuff with him. But I just thought that that was some real clown stuff, and I couldn't hold back from saying that, and I needed to say that to y'all because, like, the people who've been riding from the beginning and saw like me and Zoe together, and now don't see us together, you know, is it was just a weird position to be put in. For some people, other people, it's just like it's whatever shit. Y'all just two reactors to me, which is the way it should be. The way it should be. But people got attached. People got attached. So um, that's a bad thing. But I do want to apologize for anybody who did get caught up in that. And again, uh, not my doing. I really tried to do the right thing by everybody involved in the situation. Well, Zoe was the person involved in the situation, but I did try to do the right things by him only for, you know, to get all of this stuff in return, you know. And it's like, damn, like, I don't know, man. But that's the type of stuff that I deal with some of these guys around me, man, who now I have to, man, I had a whole fucking circus around me and I didn't even know, just clowns everywhere, dude. But this fucking Apocalypto Joe, I'm dude, I'm known this man, and we are in our 40s, and yeah, well, me and Apocalypto, but I known this man since he was like 10 or something like that. We've been riding together almost basically since that point or shortly afterwards, but was always my man's. We never had we had like just regular like kid issues, you know what I mean? When we was kids, like we fought before, but we loved each other, man. And this I still love this dude to this day. This my brother, but we was thick as thieves. You know what I mean? Like even though like I accepted him knowing that he was different and kind of introvert in a lot of ways and kept to himself, but we drew how we drew, so it was cool. But yeah, no, we never really had issues or nothing like that. Always stayed like in touch with each other, like I mean hardcore. You know what I mean? Like especially like in recent years, well that shit they do more than like a decade or so, like we had been talking on the phone like crazy, you know what I mean? So yeah, like we always stayed like really, really in tune with each other, as and never had, like I said, I never fronted on him, never tried to show him up, nothing like that. That wasn't my thing with none of my guys, you know what I mean? I never had to be on it like that. That wasn't my personality. It was about showing up nobody shit. If I'm shining, I'm shining. But it wasn't like I had to be like, oh, stop fucking with that dude in order and then look at me, you know what I mean? So it was never about that shit. I've always been a confident dude. So whatever comes to me is what comes to me. And whoever sees it or whatever, that's just a problem. But um, yeah, yeah, like in recent times, man, and you just don't know like what's going on in people's minds. You know what you're thinking, you know how you feel and all that stuff, but you never know what's going on the other side, with other people. And I had this happen with another friend of mine too, where we're just going through our friendship, and for me, I'm showing extreme love, thinking that this is my man to the end and all this stuff. And there's these harboring feelings of who knows what the hell, who knows. I don't want to call it jealousies and stuff like that. I don't want to call it, but when you look at some of this stuff, and then when you um, think back to just well, for me, when I think back to just months ago, which was basically the end of that thing that we had always had, or the beginning of the end of it. But we were doing our warhead shit, and everything was fine. But um, I had a conversation with uh, with my friend, because I realized that um, I knew that my man had, just like a lot of people who, when you go through relationships, when you end up on the bad side of it, so some of these people, they end up really, really hurt, and I've been through some bad stuff in relationships, but at least for me, like I would try to, I actually not trying, but I do recover fast. You know what I mean? Like I don't hold on to emotional things for very long at all. You know what I mean? Like I'll process the emotion and all that type of stuff, but soon afterward, it's about rational thinking and trying to do what's right in the situation as opposed to just acting off emotion. So um, I don't do that, but yeah, I had a conversation with Joe about um, just some of the conversations we were having on the podcast and just the tone that was being set. which is one that I disagreed disagreed with, as far as like I think that our old page was kind of starting to look like it was built up off of trying to degrade one group or something like that. And I wasn't feeling that, like and the group I'm talking about is women, Black women in general. But it could be women in general. Really, when it's all said and done, because this man, he was like hurt, by some people. I mean, deeply hurt, but to the point to where like all of his energy and conversation when it came to the warheads seemed like it was we were having a woman bashing session every single time. I just didn't want to be a part of that, especially given the fact that at that time, a good number of our base consisted of Black women. You know what I mean? So we're just beating up on Black women all the time, even though that's our subscription basis. So I'm just like, well, are we gonna like be sensitive to the base at all? Or so it was just I tried to have that conversation with him. He saw me and him disagree to the degree where he called in like four, 5 different chicks into that conversation that night that we was having that we was talking over the phone, in which every single one of those chicks agreed with me. Every single one. In later conversation, he would try to change that history a little bit, but I like, honestly, the honest truth is every single woman in that conversation agreed with what I was saying. And yeah, ever since that conversation, the energy shift I felt like it happened, which would eventually lead to our show like kind of just disintegrating. But it was more than just that thing that happened. I would come to find out like just recent, well, as recent as like a week and a half ago or whatever it was, which is the last time that I talked to Joe B, and that was the first time that I had talked to him in like weeks or something like that, or whatever it had been. But we had just been totally out of tune, like I said, when we were the opposite, before all this craziness. But come to find out that this dude, he felt some type of way about a show that we were having, and I really have to paint the picture about like how this show was fit. And first of all, it was going to be anniversary show, I think, for the Warheads podcast, and we were trying to come up with ideas for show ideas. That's all it was about. And so us brainstorming, and I think we were kind of fumbling through some stuff, but didn't find nothing that was sticking to the wall. So I came up with the idea of having I'll pick some like pictures out of me, kid pictures, baby pictures, whatever, and we can have a roast session. Everybody who's involved with the show, they could be there, and we could roast me. That's and it wasn't about like putting the focus on me. It wasn't about that at all. It was, we couldn't come up. We was like trying to come up with some stuff, and I was like, all right, shit, but maybe if we have a roast session, and I would have included both of us initially if my mind felt like both of us could handle that, both of us could take that. So I knew in my head that both of us could take that. You know what I mean? Like I don't mind people saying whatever about me, don't give a shit. But I know that other people are sensitive, very sensitive out here, even if they'll portray that they're not sensitive. But yeah, he apparently, well, let me continue with the story. So we're at the anniversary show. I say we're roasting meat. He includes himself into that, saying we could throw some baby pictures of it, up in me, up in there of me, and we could do me, even though he wasn't with the roasting part of. Well, he was, because what I was, my initial idea when once he introduced him is like, all right, well, we can, because everybody wanted to kind of, a lot of people wanted to have me and him kind of have opposing views all the time, and it just didn't really pan out that way. You know, even though we had opposing views, but me being me, I knew how to be amicable and know I knew how to agree to disagree and all that type of stuff. Um, but yeah, no, he threw himself into the mix, and me knowing that he couldn't take it, and him saying that he didn't want us to roast each other, which is what the idea that I threw out there. It's like, all right, well, we'll roast each other, you know. And he said, no, I don't know if but we can have like the commenters or whatever do it, you know. And it was just like, all right, whatever, you know, cool. But I still bet you they up. I told her beforehand that we get that I'ma still say some stuff, and I will be saying it in jest, you know what I mean? Like just saying some crazy stuff. I only said like one or two things that was just like cracks, you know. Like I think I made one. Well, I know that I made a crack about the like my baby picture being pretty and his being ugly or something like that. And he actually took offense to that, which I didn't realize at the time, because I remember me saying, of course, I was saying it in jest. So he said what he said in jest when he said, men shouldn't judge other men like that or whatever he said. But he was saying it, and he was laughing and all that. So I thought we were in the spirit of, you know, come to realize that after that's when things kind of had he kind of disappeared off the scene and all this and that, which led to me doing Warheads. But we would try to reconcile a little bit. So I end up talking to him later, and we would end up like even doing some recording loosely again. We did like two shows, 3 shows, sits, you know, the whole uh, anniversary thing. But this this dude, man, we talked the last time, and he tells me that he felt some type of way about uh, me uh, calling him ugly or something like that. And I was like, oh my goodness, dude. And I at that point, I'm realizing like this serious rift that had happened in our relationship was caused off of him feeling some type of way, off of something like, at least to me, what that was saying so minuscule, especially to a man. You know what I mean? Like I just don't understand like why like a man would take to heart if anybody called him ugly. You're a man, like that was, I don't know what world we in. Men ain't there no more, you know, even though they portraying that. These are the same, these are the heavy gun toters and all that now. That's because they so insecure, dude. And that's some of the stuff that I like have to deal with, is like this dude, my friend of 30 something years, almost 40 years of friendship, you know what I mean? And uh it gets broken down because you felt some type of way and about that stuff, and then didn't choose to come to me immediately about it or whatever. You should be then when we had the conversation about it, and then I just it was so ridiculous to me, like what I was hearing, you know. And like we haven't talked since, you know what I mean. He just kind of has gone on in his delusional life thinking that, you know, he's I don't know. I don't know what's going on, dude. I did, but again, I just think that it's weird that some of these things that happen, you know, when I really just tried to do the right thing by guys. Haven't tried to show anything crazy to guys. Oh, I forgot about him saying that he thought I was arrogant, and yeah, the same. There's so many. You know, that's such a backwards thing right there when he's saying that. Even though, like, I have a high esteem about myself and all that, but I have a humility as well. Like, it's never like I just got a high esteem. I don't think I'm better than people. You know what I mean? Him on the other hand, but but yeah, and I didn't even hate that about him. Like, people could be who they are, So, but yeah, like, I'm confident in me, and whatever you decide to do is fine, because I can do what I do, and I'm confident that I'll survive whatever, But yeah, this is these are some of the things that I've been like, some of the energy that's around me, a lot of the energy that's around me, man. It's just weird, man. Always being taken from on some level. I started off the video saying like, shit, my shit got robbed. You know what I mean? They took, and it's weird. Like I said, all that shit says you made Roskoe on it. Like, where are they gonna go? Like, every single item that I ordered that was supposed to be coming to me, it says you made Roskoe. So, like, there's no other you made Roskoe on the planet, as far as I know. No other one, but it is what it is. Maybe they have a classic item when all this shit blow if it does, But yeah, I just had to sit back and spew my thoughts. This was a long ass talk. I didn't realize I had this much going on to say. It is what it is, man. I don't want to hold y'all for much longer. I just really had to get that out. There was a narrative out there that I don't, because I don't know what he's saying on this page. I did look on there the one time at the whole the Super Bowl thing that was happening over there with Tom McDonald and him clowning Eminem and all that, and that's fine. You know what I mean? Like, I get Tom's thing on some level with Eminem. You know what I mean? But there's a understanding that's even a misunderstanding, even in that, a little bit. But yeah, there was a whole clown session over there that was going on about that I happen to peek in on, but otherwise, maybe a couple other times I've not even peeked in on videos, but just like checked in over there, you know what I mean? But then stop doing that shit. I just want to see how my kid was doing. That's all. Since he want to be like me so bad, but yeah. I'm just trying to do my thing out here, y'all. That's it. And I'm not trying to hurt nobody. I'm not trying to take from anybody. I'm not trying to come up off nobody. You know what I mean? Like, this whole YouTube thing is just a vehicle. Like, there's some things that are in place that make it possible for you um, to to cash in, if you will. From certain things if you do certain things. So yeah, I mean, that's available to everybody, and it is what it is. So but at the same time, I'm not trying to exploit any avenue whatsoever. You know, like I've always been a person, like if you can't get it off your own merit, then what is it worth? Like think about that for real. Like like if you getting something and you didn't get it the right way, like how do you feel inside about that? You know, so that's that's why it's on some level I think some of these motherfuckers soulless. 'Cause I you know, like I don't be giving a fuck, but that shit still fucks with me. You know what I mean? Like I just couldn't be sitting up like feeling good about taking from other people. You know, not get it on my own. So uh, I'm gonna end this video. I'm glad that y'all came, watched all that good stuff. Um, this will be the last time, like I said, hopefully that we have to even entertain and stuff. Some of the stuff I just had to get out there. I was doing and trying to do the right thing and trying to keep this under wraps, basically. But I just couldn't do it no longer. I had to speak my piece only because, like I said, I'm not hurting none of these people around me. I'm not trying to take from none of these people around. I'm actually trying to add something to everything and everybody around me. So just weird that we get this energy, but great that for me, um, I will survive like beyond that. And people just don't get that. Like the sharks could come. Like I was raised around monsters and sharks and shit like that. So I'm very comfortable in those waters and navigate through them. So I'll be all right. Like it's always been the case for me. Like you could put me. I've been in some of the worst spots and worst places. So um, you could put me there and I'll be all right. I'm still here. So uh, I'm gonna go ahead and end this, man. You know, I want to ask that anybody who wants to, you know, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, you know, share it, all that stuff. You can do it. You know what I mean? You don't have to. I realize that anybody who's also here to that's not just enjoying like the music reactions and all that stuff, and you got an ulterior motive of some type, you probably need to go over there with whoever, you know, and be over there because I'm over here trying to enjoy and trying to build and trying to actually create unity. You know, like that motherfucker, he over there like talking about he all about unity and all that. No, you not, dude. You really not. You know, you're a motherfucker with a motive, with an ulterior motive and an agenda, you know, and yeah, I'm just not for that. I'm not for the pandering and all that either. So, like I said, if you're not here, and if you here and you're not rocking with me for real, you can leave. I'll be all right. You know what I mean? Like, but if you is rocking with me, and I do appreciate you, like seriously, because I do realize that you don't have to be here. That's the thing. So, uh, and I say it all the time, and I that because I want people to know, like, you don't have to be here, but you here with me, and I do like really, really appreciate that. And so, I realize what people time is worth. You know what I mean? More than shit. I think anybody that I've been around, shit, at least that one thing, like time, yeah, I'm on it. You know, but I'm gonna end this. Like I said, do all that liking and commenting and subscribing and all that. Know that I really appreciate y'all. Like I said, now we can go forward with that. I got that off that chest. Hopefully, whoever sees it, whether it be, um, you know, and I'm gonna just be real, like whether it be people from like you know, because I there's actually people like from Hangover Gang and Creek Squad and all that. Like I have a that I met through this YouTube shit that is like, man, I could see a lot of those people like being like really cool people, and I fuck with those people and all that, and all the shit. But there's some bad apples and everything. Bad apples and everything. So just be mindful of that. But shout out to both groups, by the way, to Creek Squad, um, to Hangover Gang, also the Saint Squad, all that. But yeah, y'all dealing with a motherfucker over there with no integrity. And so if that's what y'all rocking with, that's what y'all rocking with. But me, I got to go. I'll see you guys again soon. Bring it back. Music reactions. You know what I mean? And honest shit from a real music buff, and not somebody who's trying to capitalize off of a couple of particular artists, which he was trying to blame me of. Fucking dude. I got to go, man. Y'all have a great day.